It's just a stone's throw from the cradle of the modern game. Thank you for being with us on the BWSL YouTube channel. It is the place for all the action today, with so much still to be decided at the top of the table. We'll keep you across that, of course, but from here at Bramall Lane, it's Bristol City who say they want to really finish with a flourish and take the game to Sheffield United, who in their own right already safe. How relieved they will be to have confirmed their place in the BWSL 2 for another season. They did that a week ago, and now with a bit of a smile on their face and with that weight lifted, hopefully we're in for an entertaining afternoon here at Bramall Lane. And it's flicked on by Hardy, but it's with Revel of Sheffield United. Well, Bristol City breezed past Sheffield United when the two sides did meet in December in that fixture I was just alluding to a few moments ago. Two signed goals, one for Lloyd Smith, the other for Ferrugia. They've met 8 times in their recent history, with Bristol City winning 6 of them. And it's Ella Powell who is on throw-in duty in the early stages. Well read by Cowan and cut out. Charlotte Healy talking prior to this game and mentioning that finishing 4th is really important to them. Says it's a good foundation to build on for next season. Also says there are lots of little individual goals that they want to try and attain today, not just the golden boot stuff that I mentioned a few moments ago, but they also want to finish as the division's highest scorers. At the moment, they're just 1 goal behind Birmingham City in those standings. Slightly loose touch in the middle of the midfield from Defer. Rio Hardy takes over. Bristol City's top goal scorer, the division's top goal scorer. Robinson looking to play a 1-2 and get away down that right-hand side. It's the skipper Syme who's bundled to the ground, and this is a good opportunity for Bristol City to try and test the Sheffield United defence, maybe the goalkeeper in the early stages here in South Yorkshire. It's Marine Defer who placed the ball there and seems to be fancying a go at goal here. Offers that left-footed option, which perhaps would suggest an attempt to threaten the goalkeeper. Charlotte Parker-Smith, not played in the league for Sheffield United since a 1-1 draw at Charlton way back in October. Emily Syme also there too. This is Defer, who will try for goal. It's pushed away by the goalkeeper, Parker-Smith. And it'll be a first corner kick of the game. Important to hit the target and draw a save out of the goalkeeper. That's exactly what Marine Defer did there. Had a good height, though, for the Sheffield United keeper. It's Syme who goes across and takes this. That's a mightily crowded 6-yard box, but a very good punch. Charlie Devlin racing after this, looking to kickstart a counter-attack. Does really well there. That's a lovely touch. Andrews offering the outlet in a foot race with Powell. Lafayette's taken that quickly and found Devlin. Bit of a rare treat, really, for Sheffield United to be playing at home. Just one of their last 6 games has been played in South Yorkshire. They won that against Portsmouth, but it has been a tricky end to the season. Lost 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5. Just that one win over Portsmouth in their last 13 BWSL 2 games. Robinson wins a throw-in for her side. Stephen Healy appointed in January as the club's new head coach, tasked with keeping them up. That's what he's done. The man under the cap there says the focus all week is making sure that they can finish on a good performance, wanting to put on a bit of a show for their fans. Well, all eyes today will be on what's happening at the top of the BWSL 2 table, and look at that for a scoreline. Portsmouth in front at Crystal Palace, already relegated Portsmouth. Talk about playing with freedom. Of course, Palace have none of that this afternoon. As it stands, Charlton and Birmingham City will be promoted automatically, and Crystal Palace will play against Leicester City in a one-off match to decide which team will be playing in the BWSL next season. Lafayette finds Rouse, turns it round the corner. That's a lovely little touch and turn, and away Thomas went. Couldn't quite find a teammate though. Amy Andrews was stood in a bit of space and certainly would have wanted it. So much on those matches at the top of the table this afternoon. Of course, it is Charlton against Birmingham City, live from the Valley in South London. You can watch that on the BWSL2 YouTube page, as you can watch all 6 of the final day fixtures. A draw for Charlton would be good enough to secure promotion, but only good enough for the title if Palace fail to beat Portsmouth, which of course they are at the moment. So as it stands, Charlton will go up as champions. One for Mary Ward to chase after, just slightly offside. That's a nice take from Simon. There's space in front of her as well. This is Hardy! Outstanding from Rio Hardy. Doing what she's been doing all season long. And Rio Hardy is the first player in the BWSL 2 this season to enter double figures in front of goal. Typical as well from the skipper, Emily Syme, with her wonderful dribbling skills. Puts it on a plate, but Hardy had so much to do and gave the goalkeeper no chance. But that is not the start to the game that Stephen Healy and Sheffield United were wanting to put on display for their home supporters. Though Devling is battling for it back again. Start the day 11th in the table, 4 points clear of now relegated Portsmouth. However, with Pompey leading at Crystal Palace, that gap is going to be cut somewhat to just a point. They have at least survived with one round of matches to spare. Powell has played that off her own teammate Lawley. And now Lauren Thomas will have a run at Powell and beats her. Thomas looking for the late arriving midfielders, trying to get on the end of that. Good play though from Lauren Thomas, who signed in the summer from Everton. Now Devlin might just have strayed offside. A glance at the league table from a Sheffield United perspective, seeing them second bottom might not seem like progress, but it is. After all, they finished rock bottom last season with just 7 points. Already long since bettered that effort in what is certainly a more competitive division this season than last. Seems to be a bit of blood on the knee of Thomas, which will have to be seen to by the medical team. Or by herself, indeed. Long sweeping ball in the direction of Lexi Lloyd-Smith. Will be a handful all afternoon. That's a good ball, Hardy attacking it. Beaten to the ball though by Reeville. Good defensive header. Andrews, Lafayette. Rouse had her heels clipped, looks at the referee appealingly, but Cullen Park not interested. And Crystal Palace have equalised against Portsmouth, having been a goal down. Crystal Palace this afternoon still very much in the running for promotion. Victory would guarantee them promotion. A draw would be good enough as well, so long as Charlton against Birmingham doesn't end level. That is how tight it is at the top of the BWSL 2. There are goals elsewhere as well. Ipswich Town are leading by a goal to nil against Sunderland, and Nottingham Forest are trailing at the City Ground to Southampton by 1-0. But that really is just in the shake-up of mid-table, as it is here really for those supporters to sit and watch this afternoon. At least the sun is shining in South Yorkshire. Voss, Lloyd-Smith, nice play away down the left-hand side. And it's chased after by Ward. Shout for a free kick. Syme comes across and wins it back again. It's back with Ward, looking for Lloyd-Smith. Well cut out, though, by Emma Taylor. Engel. Now with Rouse. Nice spin away from Syme. What can Lauren Thomas do this time? Good recovering challenge, very important block made by Ella Powell. But clearly in the early stages, Thomas thinks she's got the beating of Powell. Not for the first time this afternoon. Has come off worse in a collision. Ella Powell also requiring a bit of treatment after that collision. Stephen Healy says, pleased with what they have managed to achieve over the last few weeks. That big win against Portsmouth is the reason why they are still in the division, or at least safe. They can finish as high as 9th, depending on what Ipswich and Durham do, no lower than where they currently sit, of course, in 11th. From a Bristol City perspective, start the day 4th in the BWSL 2 table, 7 points adrift of 3rd place Crystal Palace. So they have to watch on with envy this week as the 3 clubs above them continue to battle it out for promotion. I'm not sure whether or not Ella Powell will be able to continue here. It has given those Sheffield United players a chance to get their heads together, though, and plot a route back into the game. Trailing by that wonderful top corner finish from Rio Hardy inside the first 10 minutes. From Bentley on the ball for Bristol City. Reeve will knees that down. Could only find Syme though, and Hardy will chase. At the moment, Rio Hardy has one toe in the golden boot for the BWSL 2 this season. Amy Andrews at the other end is on 9. Hardy moved on to 10. Bristol City teammates Lexi Lloyd-Smith and Jessie Gale are both on 8. Ball from Cowan might well find Andrews. This is her opportunity. Andrews! Good stop from the keeper. Will come again. It's still Andrews. Kinsey Andrews tries to find her again, and Lexi Lloyd-Smith will come away with it, and there's a lot of space for her to try and exploit now. Hardy, Lloyd-Smith. This is Robinson. We'll have a run at Lafayette. Robinson cuts it back, and Rouse comes up with it for Sheffield United, but just as promptly as I say that, giving it away again. Now Ward. Defoe. Her cross goes behind, and that'll be a second corner kick of the game for the visitors. Lovely ball this from Leanne Cowan. Amy Andrews' pace creates the opportunity. The angle is against her, of course. It's a very crowded 6-yard box from their first corner. This time, something off the training ground, perhaps, but it's not quite worked out for them. Syme. With a searching ball. Lawley just beyond her. They pack a threat every time they come forward, Bristol City. It's why they've impressed so much in front of goal this season. Only Birmingham have scored more goals than Bristol City going into this game. Rio Hardy's today was their 44th in 21 and a bit matches. And you do tend to get your money's worth with Bristol City games as well, at over 3.5 per game on average. Those Robins games average the most in the entire division. Long searching ball for Robinson. Lafayette will get there first and attempt to shepherd this out. Lafayette's clearance. Spins away. It'll be a Bristol City throw. Rouse tried to let the ball do the work there, but Defoe had other ideas, and this is Marine Defoe. Got out by Hardy, came off of Lafayette last, so that'll be another Robins throw. Voss, through ball, Hardy chases, keeper was always going to be favourite for that. It was Emily Syme who, of course, created the goal that Hardy converted. Syme creating the most chances in the entire division this season. She also has the second most assists, now with 8. It's only behind Crystal Palace's Ashley Verdon. Nice turn from Lafayette, caught by Robinson. That'll be a free kick. Floated ball from Rouse, looking for Andrews. It's Fran Bentley who got there first. Formerly of this parish at Sheffield United, was on loan here some 7 years ago. Back then just a teenager, learning her trade, primarily at the two big Manchester clubs, City and United. Well intercepted by Lafayette. Lawley collides, and that'll be another Bristol City throw. Defer to Ingle. Marine Defoe. Hoping to find Lexi Lloyd-Smith. No, probably not like that. Ward. Nice turn from Syme. Taylor with her. And that might well be another corner kick. Perhaps not. Goal kick instead this time. Guess they can have no real complaints, Bristol City, about coming up short in the race for promotion. After all, they've lost 5 of their 6 games against the established top 3. Their only win coming at home to Charlton when the South London side were going through a really sticky patch. Still goalless, incidentally, in South London between Charlton and Birmingham City, 1 apiece between Crystal Palace and Portsmouth. It means the status quo is as you were there. Charlton continue to lead the division on 43 points, with Birmingham City and Crystal Palace locked on 42. Birmingham's goal difference is superior to Palace. Robinson. Powell. Ward. Fancies the chances against Eva Butler, but Butler does well, gets back in front, wants a free kick, and well, how often do you see them given in those sort of situations? Those supporters guaranteed another season of Barclays WSL 2 action. The club securing their survival a week ago when Portsmouth were beaten by Nottingham Forest. Sure, they'll hope for better from both the men's and the women's clubs next season in this part of South Yorkshire. Taylor taking no chances. And Bristol City, as you'd expect, dictating the majority of the play. Ward finds Hardy. That's Ward's cross, looking for Syme. Headed down by Kinsit. Fortunately, Ella Powell now showing no real ill effects of the injury that was troubling her earlier on. Wonder for a time when she hobbled off under the support of the medical team, whether or not she'd be able to continue. Robinson. Ingle. Syme. Blocked by Lafayette, forced to Devlin. Devlin needs to be careful and isn't careful enough. Now Syme has it. Lexi Lloyd-Smith. Rather reckless challenge a moment ago from Charlie Devlin, and that's what the referee, Callum Park, is keeping an eye on. Another Ward throw-in. Defoe. Had a reflection there of Bristol City's upper hand through the first almost half an hour. Defoe's low ball, touched on, Rio Hardy, down she goes. What will the referee do? Point to the spot, I believe. And that will be a Bristol City penalty. Rio Hardy just too quick, too clever. That's a really clever ball, and the touch there, first from Lloyd-Smith and then from Hardy, took it away from the Sheffield United defenders. Jess Reeville will shake her head and know that she got nowhere near the ball. So Bristol City already have one. Rio Hardy already has one. A chance to double their lead on the final day of the BWSL 2 season. Hardy against Parker Smith, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. A good stop, but Rio Hardy knows that that was nowhere near good enough, nowhere near close enough to the bottom corner. The division's top goal scorer will probably take little joy in seeing that replay. But a good stop though from Charlotte Parker Smith. It keeps Sheffield United in the game. 30-year-old Scott back in the team again. It's been a frustrating season for her. Missed many months of first choice action, such is the virtue of being a goalkeeper. Southampton have doubled their lead in the East Midlands, looking to finish with a flourish. This is Ward. Oh, and that is a big goal in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, with Birmingham City taking the lead at Charlton. That means, at the moment, as it stands, Birmingham City will go up as champions. Crystal Palace jump up to second in the table, and Charlton, for so long the pace setters in the BWSL 2, will drop to third and have to settle for the one-off promotion match against Leicester City. However, it doesn't look good news for Ella Powell. She has given it a go after making that challenge earlier on Lauren Thomas. Full-blooded, fair tackle, no quarter given by either player. And Powell doesn't appear as though she'll be able to play on. So a change to be made here. And it's Esther Morgan who's stripped and ready to replace her. So Ella Powell's season is done. And Morgan's no stranger in these parts. Joined Bristol City in the summer from Sheffield United, where she made 9 appearances last season. Well, you might well have overheard the referee, Callum Park, saying that play will resume with a drop ball. Ward gets us going again. Cut out by Taylor. That's a lovely little turn from Lexi Lloyd-Smith, and away she goes, looking for Syme, cut out before it could reach her. However, the referee's seen something that he's not happy with. Cowan judged to have fouled Lloyd-Smith. Eight goals to her name this season for Lloyd-Smith. She is 4 without a finish. One of those 8 goals came against Sheffield United in the 4-0 win back in December. It's Emily Syme. Stood over the ball. Continues to rack up assists in the BWSL 2. Aimed in towards Ingle, cleared away before it could reach her. Lafayette is there for Sheffield United, but Syme has it back again. Ward's cross, up towards Hardy. Lawley there too. Now Robinson, couldn't really dig that out. And that'll be a goal kick for Sheffield United. That win over Portsmouth for the Blades was their first for 139 days. It's their only win in the last 13 league games. 3 plucky draws against Charlton, Newcastle and Sunderland in early spring also gave them a shot at survival in a league where every point has mattered for Sheffield United. Reeville, who will be breathing a sigh of relief, of course, having given the penalty away that goalkeeper Charlotte Parker-Smith saved from Hardy. Lafayette. Held up by Morgan. And then deflected out by Robinson. Rouse. Turns that round the corner neatly for Thomas. Bristol City have it again. Robinson couldn't quite keep it in. Solid foundation for those Bristol City supporters to be optimistic about next season. Made no secret about wanting to challenge for promotion this season. But in Charlotte Healy, they have a head coach with an excellent pedigree in the game. Of course, worked in the BWSL as an assistant coach at Manchester United before leaving for the Southwest and the big job. Lawley to Ingle. No chances all the way back to Bentley. Lexi Lloyd-Smith trying to play the 1-2. This is Taylor. One area for growth for Bristol City would be their away form. Won only 3 away games this season at Forest, Sunderland and Southampton. They are also 4 away games without victory. Their last coming at Nottingham Forest in January. Certainly little room for improvement at home. That's only bettered by Charlton. Charlton, who as it stands will be missing out on automatic promotion. They have dropped to 3rd place with Birmingham City leading in South London, and it's still Crystal Palace 1, Portsmouth 1. If you are just joining us on the BWSL YouTube channel, that one a shock in the early stages as Robinson lifts it into the penalty area, forced to Syme, who might well pull the trigger, and it might well have been deflected behind for a corner kick. The shock in the early stages I alluded to there a moment ago was when already relegated Portsmouth took the lead at Crystal Palace. Great place to catch all of the action is on the Barclays WSL and Barclays WSL 2 app. Only been released in the last month or so. Lots of content on there, lots of exclusive stuff, lots of goals and all the games as well that you can watch live. Here comes the corner kick from Syme, flicked in, awkward one to deal with for the Sheffield United defenders, but Andrews does well. Mr. Syme, though, winning that back again, and it's all a bit disorganised at the back. Not that it could prove fruitful on this occasion for the visitors. Reeville giving Thomas one to chase, asking too much of her though. He is their 3rd head coach of the season at Sheffield United, and so they'll hope for improvements next season with a bit more consistency and solidity perhaps. So we're inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. All all going to script, really. If you were to look at the stats and the table, you'd expect Bristol City to come here and dominate possession and create chances, and here they come again with Robinson. She has Hardy to aim at, cuts it back for Lloyd-Smith! And that's brilliantly taken by Lexi Lloyd-Smith, and really, really well made by Katie Robinson. Nothing less than what they deserve, really. Sheffield United would have hoped to hang on to just the 1-goal deficit going into the break. But Bristol City and their free-scoring ways had other ideas. A 9th goal of the season for Lloyd-Smith, and a first after 4 games without one. It appears as though Abby Lafayette is reading the riot act there to her teammates. To be a fly on the wall at half-time then, perhaps, because that might well continue. It's a fixture that's not often been kind to Sheffield United in recent seasons. Bristol City have scored at least 3 in each of the last 3 encounters. Sheffield United winning just 2 of the 8 meetings that they've had, the last victory coming at Bristol City in the April of 2023. I think there'll be quite a chunk of stoppage time at the end of the first half. What with the injury to Powell. Ward just about keeps that in. And Voss clears. That'll be a Bristol City throw, coming off Eva Butler last. The Golden Boot race is hotting up, not just for the BWSL 2, but amongst the Bristol City players. Rio Hardy has 10. Her teammate Lexi Lloyd-Smith has now just joined the chasing pack on 9. Of course, Amy Andrews of Sheffield United also has 9. So no silverware here this afternoon, but there might be something golden to hand out. Sign. Looks to be a sore one in the build-up. Butler's still down. This is Ingle, though. Nice. And they have players over around the corner. Rio Hardy. Now Robinson, who's pushing ever further forwards down this right. Just running into a red and white wall in the end. Amy Andrews, look at the pace. If you can put the ball in behind, she will get there. Wants to push this past Lawley. Needs support, though. Still Amy Andrews, in the end, just muscled out of it. Needed a bit more to work with the initial ball away down the left-hand side. If it had been played further down that left touchline, Andrews might well have been in. Goodness knows she has the speed to get away from almost anyone. And it's his job, Stephen Healy, to try and utilise that as much as he possibly can. Get her on the ball and get her involved more. Devlin. Almost cut out by Lloyd-Smith. Cowan, though, finds Butler. Now Devlin again. First time. Over the top. Awkward one for Esther Morgan. And that'll be a first Sheffield United corner kick. as we go into 4 minutes of additional time at the end of this first half. Durham are a goal up at Newcastle United in the northeast. Just trying to increase a little gap points-wise over Sheffield United. Currently Durham third bottom, Sheffield United second bottom. Is there something to build on here late in the first half for Sheffield United? It's Devlin, broken up by Lloyd Smith, but Devlin will have another opportunity here. Blocked by Morgan, falls to Andrews. Now Devlin. Kinsit. Taylor. Perhaps caught in two minds there, whether to go for goal or fizz across into the penalty area, and we got a bit of a cross of the two. Looks a sore one. Devlin made a tough stuff though. Eva Butler. Bit of support from Cowan. Ward has it though. Bounces awkwardly for Voss. It will run through to be a Bristol City goal kick. Confirmation of that Durham goal in the northeast at Newcastle. Newcastle, who saw their own dreams of a late dash at promotion fall by the wayside when they were beaten by Bristol City a week ago. Jesse Gale's 99th minute winner. Gale on the bench this afternoon for Charlotte Healy's side. Great strength in depth there. Maria Ferrugia too, Cecile Struck. Expect to see all of them in the second half. As Andrews will hair after another one. This time well marshalled by Lawley. Now Rio Hardy will try to push Bristol City forwards down the left-hand side in the remaining seconds of the 4 additional minutes. And that'll do us at half-time at Bramall Lane, where Rio Hardy has one, might have had another as well. Opened the scoring with a fine finish inside the first 10 minutes, but 20 minutes after that had a penalty save, a poor strike from the BWSL 2's top goal scorer. And Lexi Lloyd-Smith got in on the act with less than 5 minutes remaining of that first half. A fine finish, nestling into the bottom corner of the net, her 9th of the season. And at half-time, Sheffield United trail against Bristol City by 2 goals to 0. One last rendition of Annie's song at Bramall Lane. One last half of football at the end of this historic Barclays WSL 2 season. Sheffield United, they want to end with something to smile about. They've got to get a goal. They've got to get themselves back into this game. Otherwise, you can't help but think that Bristol City's attacking prowess will prove too much, and they'll start to create chances again down the stretch. In Maria Ferrugia, they have a player who has 3 goals to her name this season, including one against Sheffield United in that 4-0 win when the two sides met in December, as both teams exchange early offsides in this second half. Of course, throughout this second half, we'll keep you across what's going on in South London, where the title race and promotion is to be decided this afternoon. They are back underway at Crystal Palace, where it is 1 apiece between them and Portsmouth. Meanwhile, at the Valley, it's Charlton 0, Birmingham City 1. Charlton desperately need to get back in the game. A goal would see them promoted. They only need a point. But as it stands, they'll miss out on automatic promotion, as that clearance is hooked away by Emma Taylor. Morgan tries to win that back for the visitors. Well cleared away. Hammered clear, and Thomas will chase. Ward got there first. Ward has swapped out to that right-hand side, with Morgan coming across to the left at half-time. You can see confirmation of the teams here, as Charlie Devlin will try to run in behind the Bristol City defence, but I did fancy that she might well have gone too early. And the assistant's flag is up again for yet another offside. And Crystal Palace are now in front for the first time this afternoon with an early goal in this second half. They had trailed by 1-0, but now lead by 2-1 and pull level on points with Birmingham City at the top of the BWSL 2 table. Just spy the goal difference there, heavily weighted in Birmingham's favour. Birmingham doing enough at Charlton, Palace doing enough across the way in South London as well against Portsmouth. Currently, those are the 2 teams that will be automatically promoted to the BWSL. It's all available to watch on the BWSL 2 and BWSL app, of course, and here on the league's YouTube channels. Be able to watch the trophy lift later. Got a feel for the people that have to decide where to station the trophy this afternoon. Fortunately, both matches taking place in South London, but unfortunately, I guess, both matches then taking place in South London are at the mercy of the traffic. Here's Ward, and it's still Ward. Little slip through trying to find Hardy. Too much on the weight of the ball. I wondered whether or not she might have a go at goal for her own right. Amy Andrews chasing after this, and Thomas there likewise. They have such pace in attack through Amy Andrews and through Lauren Thomas off the left wing. I wonder whether or not Stephen Healy will instruct his players to go long a bit more in the second half to try to expose the relative lack of pace in the Bristol City backline compared to those two lightning-quick attackers. It is a roll-your-sleeves-up type of afternoon in South Yorkshire. Spoke before the game about wanting to have something to build on over the summer. As Bristol City come again, Ward could only find the gloves of Charlotte Parker-Smith. Quite end-to-end here through the first 5 minutes or so of the second half. This is Andrews. He could do with a bit of support. She gets that now from Devlin. Forced to roll that back to Kinzit and Cowan. Cowan looking for Butler. Well dealt with at the back though. And Kinzit is the latest player to go down in need of treatment. Ella Kinzit, who's been an ever-present this season. Today, her 28th appearance in all competitions. Still only 21, having joined the club 3 years ago from Burnley. Just to underline how important that second goal of the afternoon is for Crystal Palace. Victory guarantees them promotion regardless of what happens at Charlton this afternoon, where it remains Charlton 0, Birmingham City 1. Crystal Palace looking to immediately bounce back from relegation from the BWSL last season. That'll be a Sheffield United throw-in that Cowan wanted to take quickly. To Butler. Does well to keep that alive, and it bounces awkwardly there in front of the Bristol City defenders. Now with Amy Andrews, shows some lovely control, and Andrews tries a lock. Blocked by Ingle, I think. And now here is Lexi Lloyd-Smith. Hardy. Good tracking back though from Rouse. Now Devlin. And that's a really good looking ball. Thomas will chase. Just asked a little bit too much of the former Everton winger. More endeavour though in the early stages of this second half from Sheffield United. Syme. Ward. Now to Fur. Gives it back to Ward. Touch just gets away from it. Collision involving Lloyd-Smith and Emma Taylor that Taylor has come out on the worst side of. There's Charlotte Healy, who swapped Bristol for Manchester when she took over at the Robins. An impressive first season in charge of the football club. Heaped the praise in the direction of her fellow Healy, no relation, so far as I know, before the game. Says that she thinks that since Stephen Healy's gone in at Sheffield United, they've had a real bounce and played some good football, which is what they're trying to do now here with Devlin. Cowan will chase. The ball just might be running away too quickly from her, as so it proves. We await another goal here in the second half, but Palace wasting no time now against Portsmouth. 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Both of them have been scored by Ashley Bearden. This is Lexi Lloyd-Smith, though. Draws a relatively comfortable save out of the goalkeeper in the end. So Crystal Palace, as it stands, will be promoted. It's a good effort from Lexi Lloyd-Smith in the end. Just didn't quite have the power that she needed, nor the placement. Here they come again, though. Lloyd-Smith, it's spilled by the goalkeeper. Ingle has a chance to flick it to the back post, and somehow Flourish has put it wide. Goodness me, how is it not 3? I don't think she knows. Well, Sheffield United very much architects of their own downfall initially there. Keeper spills it. Ingle does everything right. I'm not quite sure how Farouja hasn't scored there. And they were queuing up at the back post. Well, meanwhile, Emma Taylor is still down. And the goals are continuing to go in around the rest of the league. Birmingham City have doubled their lead at Charlton. And so the afternoon is going from bad to worse for Charlton, who, as I've said before, were very much the pace setters for a lot of this season. Form has fallen away in the second half of the campaign, and yet they look like they were starting to find their feet again. But as it stands, they will miss out on automatic promotion, with Birmingham going up as champions on goal difference ahead of Crystal Palace, who will also be promoted. Charlton Athletic will have to settle for a one-off game against Leicester City, who are the side that finished bottom of the Barclays WSL, to decide which team will play in the BWSL next season. Emma Taylor looks to be moving okay. And Crystal Palace are only heading in one direction, and that is up. 3 goals now in the first 15 minutes of the second half has seen them completely turn that game on its head. They leading now against Portsmouth by 4 goals to 1. And Crystal Palace on their way to promotion at the very first attempt, having been relegated from the BWSL a year ago. Lafayette wins it back from Hardy. Having a hard time, though, of keeping it as Devlin starts to juggle the ball in her own corner. That'll be a free kick. Ingle. Lloyd-Smith. Bristol City smelling a third, and Lexi Lloyd-Smith tries her luck again from range. That's a bit better. Better power, better placement, and drew a better save out of Charlotte Parker-Smith. Another corner kick for the visitors. Their 4th of the game, their first of this second half. Very crowded far post. That's where the ball's heading at the moment. And it's the header from Gemma Lawley that goes harmlessly wide. A couple of goals this season, including one at Durham in a 2-2 draw a month ago. Amy Andrews again will lay chase to a through ball, and this time she's onside. Amy Andrews bursts into the penalty area, looked for Devlin. She might get back on it again yet. Here we are, again trying to find Devlin. Like a magnet to Amy Andrews at times. Helps that she's as quick as she is. There's Lloyd Smith again, who's been so involved in the first 15 minutes or so since the restart. A couple of long-range efforts which have tested the goalkeeper. Now Voss. Lexi Lloyd-Smith buys herself a bit of space, turns a wonderful curling ball out in the direction of Ward, and Ward's cross is brilliantly saved. It's Hardy's header and Parker Smith's superb save. Ward does everything right, but goodness me, what a stop that is. Charlotte Parker-Smith is keeping her side in it. Change on the way then for Sheffield United, as Simone Sherwood will replace Ella Kinzit. Joined in the winter transfer window from Leicester City. Still only 19 years old. Another corner kick then for Bristol City. Their fifth of the game. The captain Symes stands over the ball. They look dangerous every time they come forwards. Bit of sorting out for the referee Callum Park to do. That corner kick, boom towards the far side of the penalty area. Hardy challenging again. And did Devlin keep that in? Just about. That'll be a Bristol City throw, and confirmation in your top left-hand corner of that recent change for the Blades. Another in-swinging ball, headed away by Taylor. Only as far as Ward, but Lafayette has it back. That might well be a free kick. I saw one for Abby Lafayette. Little surprised that it perhaps didn't result in a yellow card either. It appeared as though Ward knew what she was doing, taking one for the team and stopping a counter-attack before it could really get going. That's well played by Lexi Lloyd-Smith. Here she comes again, approaching the edge of that penalty area, has options to her right. This is Ward, not the best ball on this occasion. Anywhere will do with the clearance. Lawley will get there, shepherd that out for a Bristol City throw. Rio Hardy goes down inside the penalty area again. Real appeal there from a couple of her teammates, including the skipper, Sign. Referee not interested, though. Bristol City have already had one penalty in this game, which was saved by the keeper. They come again. Flicked behind by Reeville. Another corner kick. Showing no signs of slowing down, Bristol City. The manager, you can see the collision there. Reeville's already given one away. Decide for yourself. Yet another corner kick for this Sheffield United defence to face up to. Bundle of players towards the far side of the 18-yard box. Nestles in the gloves of the goalkeeper instead. Couple of changes now, though, on the way, with Jessie Gale and Shauna Guyatt stripped, ready to come on. Gale will replace Rio Hardy, and Guyatt will replace Butler.
Bristol City coming off number 9, Rio Hardy.
Rio Hardy got her goal, and as things stand, is the Barclays WSL 2 top scorer and Golden Boot winner. But it's tight because her teammate Lexi Lloyd-Smith is just behind her on 9. Amy Andrews also has 9. And Jessie Gale, the player that's replaced her, has 8. And Palace have a 5th in South London. They will be promoted this afternoon, no doubt about it. And Portsmouth, the relegated side, will be going down with a whimper. Here is Amy Andrews sprinting away down the left-hand side and somehow still going. Now Thomas. Andrew points where she wants it. This is Andrews! Oh, smacks the post! What an effort from Amy Andrews. Not only did she sprint away with the ball, it really was a chance all of her own making. Gets a little bit of luck here, but keeps going. And thuds this against the woodwork. Well, that would have made things interesting in the Golden Boot race. That would have seen Andrews go level with Hardy on 10 goals for the season. Sign. As Ward to her right, and plenty of space for Ward to pick out her cross. Deep, looking for Farouja. Turn from Ingle to Defer. Ingle will find Ward. Gale and Lloyd-Smith waiting for a delivery in the middle. Defer gives it to Gale, gets it back again. Touch lets her down. Ricochets awkwardly, and Reeville plays it out to the left-hand side without lifting her head. Sign. Blocked by Lafayette. 7th corner of the game for Bristol City. Emily Syme with the right-footed outswinger, headed down by Voss. Gale in there, as is Lawley. So was Ingle. Charlotte Parker-Smith clears that high, but not all that far. Sherwood tries to clear that away, but it ricochets back at her. Syme hoping to pick out Lloyd Smith. Devlin can't control it, and Voss comes across. And Crystal Palace now have a 6th against Portsmouth, who are collapsing under the South London sun. And all of a sudden, we might have to start having a conversation about goal difference. They started the day, Crystal Palace, 7 or 8 back of Birmingham City. But as they continue to rack up the score like this, it starts to become a conversation as to whether or not Crystal Palace can pull off the unthinkable and try to edge ahead of Birmingham City in terms of goal difference and snatch the title away from them. Still 2-0 Birmingham lead at Charlton, incidentally. This is Ingle, left for Lexi Lloyd-Smith. Comes back out for Syme. Ricochets and going to be kept in by Defoe. Oh, who goes over the advertising hoardings. Hope she's okay. And up the other end comes Sheffield United with Amy Andrews as players flooding forwards with her. Thomas is one of them. Assistant's flag might well go up as the effort is knocked into the bottom corner. It's a fine finish, but very clearly offside. And any thoughts of Sheffield United getting a goal back in this game are cut well short. Shauna Guyatt with the finish. A lightning quick counter-attack. It's always lightning quick when Amy Andrews is involved, after all. Faruja gets away from a couple of challenges, goes down. I think she thought she was going to get a free kick. Thomas to Devlin. Lexi Lloyd-Smith is tackling back. Devlin thought she should have got a free kick, but won't. Devlin's on it again now for Guyatt to run onto. Andrews in the middle to aim at. Cut out before it could reach her, though. And Lexi Lloyd-Smith in possession for Bristol City once more. Ball over the top for Jessie Gale to chase. She'll try to get in behind Reeville. Forced wide. Now looking for some support as we approach the final 15 minutes of the BWSL 2 season. Defoe. Switch to Faruja. Cowan in front of her. Faruja's cross over the head of Lloyd-Smith, and Emily Syme's effort over the crossbar. I think Emily Syme might well have had more time than she thought. You can understand the temptation to run onto it and volley it first time. Just a reminder that every single game this afternoon in Barclays WSL 2 is available to watch on the league's YouTube channel. So the trophy lift, wherever that may well be, and at the moment that will be at Charlton, albeit agonisingly for the Addicts, that'll be for Birmingham City, will be available to watch on the BWSL 2 YouTube feed. Here's Andrews again for Sheffield United. Buys a lottery ticket that time. Trying from range, it would have had to have been spectacular, as more changes are being readied from Bristol City. Isabel Hebbard there will replace Sophie Ingle. And the other change, we'll see Olivia Voss make way for Harley Bennett. Hebbard, who is only 17 and hasn't played since November, got her first goal for Bristol City in a 7-0 win against Ipswich. Haven't Ipswich improved since then, and Harley Bennett at the other end of her career last scored against Ipswich as well, albeit this time in a 1-1 draw. Looking for Syme, Lafayette reading the intentions of the Bristol City defender. And looking to set Andrews away. And when she gets going, there's almost no stopping her. Now, was that tackle on the money? According to the referee, yes, it was. Gemma Lawley coming across. She had to get that absolutely right. And she certainly did so. Corner kicks haven't come freely for Sheffield United so far this afternoon. This only their second of the game. They do have great aerial prowess there in the likes of Simone Sherwood and Jess Reevell. It'll be Devlin with the in-swinging corner kick and instead goes short to Thomas. Now back to Devlin, hangs one up. Reevell will challenge, Lawley gets there first and Gale hooks it away. Gale again will challenge, Reevell over the top of her. It's a more convincing clearance. Sherwood. Southampton have a third at Nottingham Forest as the assistant's flag goes up once more. Means as it stands, Southampton will finish 5th in the BWSL 2 with Newcastle United 6th, Nottingham Forest 7th, Bristol City with the scores like this guaranteed to finish 4th, which is where they started the day. Here's Lexi Lloyd-Smith getting away from Sherwood. Might have to beat her again, though. Instead tries with the cross. It might fall for Farouja. What an effort that is from the foot. And yet again, Charlotte Parker-Smith is in the right place at the right time to make a big save. She just walks onto this, doesn't she? Marine Defer. And leaves absolutely nothing in reserve. Mentioned a moment ago, Sheffield United have had just 2 corners. This is an 8th for Bristol City. And who should be there again? The Sheffield United goalkeeper played really well in what is her first league appearance since October. We're into the final 10 minutes of the BWSL 2 season, then fittingly ending in the sunshine here in South Yorkshire with Bristol City on the attack once more. Ward. Crunching challenge from Reevell. Yet another corner kick for them to face. Out-swinging corner kick to come from Syme. Good challenge, great save. There again. How many more times are you going to see Charlotte Parker-Smith come to the rescue for this Sheffield United defence? Quite brilliant. Harley Bennett with the header. Head in her hands for a moment. Couldn't believe that she'd not managed to find a goal. Has to be inch perfect after all. Syme with another in swinger. And again, it's Harley Bennett with the header. And this time just couldn't quite keep it down.
Today's official attendance is 2,285. That's our biggest attendance of the season. Thank you so much for your support.
You might well be able to hear the announcement over the tannoy there that the attendance is 2,285. It is Sheffield United's biggest of the season so far. They're preparing a change, Stephen Healy and the Blades, with Molly Austin, who is a regular in the academy in England under 16, about to make her debut. Real bright prospect for the future. One more long ball over the top for Andrews to lay chase to. Not even she could get there this time. A bit of consternation at the back between the Sheffield United defenders. Now Lloyd Smith gives it to Hebard. Jesse Gale, Lloyd Smith once more. Ferrugia to Ward. Low ball, Lloyd Smith. Great save. Forgive me for sounding repetitive, but Charlotte Parker-Smith, she might well be the player of the game. In a 2-0 defeat as it stands. It surely would have been so much worse for them. It'll be a Bristol City free kick. They want to take it quickly, but the change will be made first. And Lauren Thomas, who's ran hard down the left-hand side, particularly in that first half, is replaced. And here is Molly Austin making her senior debut. What a special occasion this is for her, and I'm sure for her family as well. Sherwood holds off Gale. Confirmation of that Sheffield United change in the top left corner of your screen. No change at the top of the BWSL 2 table at the moment. So as we head towards the final 5 minutes of the season, I'll break off because Bristol City have it again, pushing for a third. And it's just wide from Isabel Hebard. Well, they had numbers. Hebard's attempt didn't quite have the bend to turn into that bottom corner. As I was saying a few moments ago, Birmingham City then are less than 5 minutes away from being crowd champions as Hebard comes again. Gale tried to jink one way and let the ball run across her body. It was well cut out though. Morgan to Gale. Defer. Just a touch too far in front of Farrugia. That goal difference advantage just 4 now after Crystal Palace have gone goal crazy in this second half. But Palace jumping up from 3rd to 2nd. They are guaranteed promotion with victory this afternoon and continue to lead against Portsmouth by 6 goals to 1. Remember, they trailed by 1-0 in that game. Birmingham City continue to lead by 2 goals to 0 at Charlton. It will be heartbreak for Charlton. Here is Amy Andrews. Prods it down the left, hoping to find Lafayette. She will. Syme pokes it out for a Blades throw-in. Southampton still leading 3-0 at Nottingham Forest. Durham are leading by 1-0 at Newcastle. That'll particularly please the Durham fans to get a win over Newcastle on the final day of the season. And Ipswich Town are leading by 2 goals to 1 against Sunderland. As it stands, Birmingham City will be the team that have scored the most goals this campaign, and I mention that because Charlotte Healy spoke about Bristol City's desire to finish the campaign as the top scorers, but they'll probably miss out on that as it stands by just 1 goal. And Rio Hardy will be crowned Golden Boot winner. This is Charlie Devlin over the ball for Sheffield United. And we'll go for goal, straight at the goalkeeper though. Bristol City want to mount a counter-attack at breakneck speed, and will do. What a ball that is, up towards Gale. Gale gives it to Farrugia for 3, off the crossbar, and the keeper's up to grab it. Chance after chance after chance in this second half for Bristol City. Jessie Gale does everything right. And Farrugia's touch just allowed Parker Smith to get a little closer to her. Big smile on her face. Back in the team, the goalkeeper, for the first time since October, and has been absolutely outstanding all afternoon. Andrews will chase again. The assistant's flag goes up. Lexi Lloyd-Smith is still out there on 9 goals. 1 for her now would win a share of that golden boot from her teammate Rio Hardy, who is already on the bench. Scored the opener in this game and then had a penalty saved. So had an opportunity to give herself a bit more breathing space. Progress though for Sheffield United this season, particularly under Stephen Healy. They've not had everything their own way throughout the campaign. Have had 3 head coaches on the touchline throughout the season. It's their victory over Portsmouth at the end of March that has ultimately saved them. That and some draws against Charlton, Newcastle and Sunderland in recent weeks. It's neat football for Bristol City though. And Ward comes again down the right. It's Gale on the end of it. Couldn't quite pull that back for Lloyd-Smith or Farrugia. And just the 7 minutes of additional time at the end of this one. The Blades have ultimately bettered what they did last season. Finished rock bottom then, just 7 points. They already have 18 this season. Lexi Lloyd-Smith is They're ratting at the heels of Taylor, and surely this will be a third. It is! And it's Lexi Lloyd-Smith who gate crashes the Golden Boot race on the final day of the Barclays WSL 2 season. A turn, a smile, a shake of the head, surely in the direction of Rio Hardy, who was the division's leading goal scorer. Lloyd-Smith does so well to win that back, and look at the finish. A late goal at the end of the first half, a late goal at the end of the second half. Lexi Lloyd-Smith is on to 10 for the season alongside her teammate Rio Hardy, and there are still 5.5 minutes left. It's the icing on the cake, really, for Bristol City, and it'd be hard-pressed to say that they don't deserve this sort of scoreline for the dominance they've had in the game. That was Molly Austin there, who cleverly span away from Esther Morgan. Cowan trying to win her side a corner kick. She won't do so. What must Rio Hardy be thinking? There will be more than a friendly competition between the two of them for the Golden Boot. Having seen a penalty saved in the first half, she'll know she had a more than decent chance of winning the Golden Boot outright. But at the moment, she'll have to share it with her teammate. Really, for Bristol City, it's a run of 1 win in 6 matches that has cost them down the stretch. They won just once from early February through to early April, and in that time they lost to Birmingham and Crystal Palace, who are the top two, who will be, as it stands, promoted to the Barclays WSL. They have such attacking prowess as Lafayette launches one long. And it's that attacking prowess which has seen them surge up the table this season. Defensively, there is room for improvement, and that is surely where they will focus some of their attention in recruitment over the summer. Failed to keep a clean sheet in any of their last 7 matches, so that run takes you all the way back to January. They would love a precious clean sheet here. They're going for a 4th, though. Farouja in towards Hebard. Danger not fully cleared yet as Gale nods it down. Hebard there again. Out to this right touchline now. Left-footed, curling ball. I thought for a moment Lexi Lloyd-Smith was going to bag a hat-trick. And sole possession of that Golden Boot. Gaia. Lafayette looks for Andrews. Might just have been a trip of the heels there from Defer on Rouse. Meanwhile, away from the ball, Andrews has gone down holding a calf. Just cramped though by the looks of things. A reminder at full time, if you do want to watch the closing stages from the Valley, where Charlton are trailing by 2-0 against Birmingham City, and where Birmingham will lift the Barclays WSL 2 trophy, it is available right here on the BWSL 2 YouTube channel. Crystal Palace will also be promoted with a commanding 6-1 victory over Portsmouth as Devlin goes down, and apparently goes down too easily for the referee's liking. Full-time whistles starting to go, including at the City Ground, where Southampton have won by 3-0. Here's Lloyd Smith looking for a hat-trick. Lexi Lloyd-Smith cuts it back, corner kick. It's also full-time in Suffolk, where Ipswich Town have beaten Sunderland by 2-1. Quite the few weeks it has been for them. As it stands, they'll finish 9th in the BWSL 2 on a day where the men's team secured promotion back to the Premier League. Here is a corner kick taken by Syme, in at the near post. Here's Lexi Lloyd-Smith for the hat-trick for the Barclays WSL 2 Golden Boot. Three goals for her this afternoon. I've seen her snatch the Golden Boot away from her own teammate Rio Hardy. And it's a 4th of the afternoon for Bristol City. Just the gloss on a brilliant goal-scoring season for the Robins. And another blow for Sheffield United at the back, and a season where they have been used to conceding as many goals as they have done. Something to work on surely over the summer for Stephen Healy and the gang. But a match ball for Lexi Lloyd-Smith. She does really well to bring that under her control as quickly as she does. And that is full time. And those celebrations are golden celebrations from Lexi Lloyd-Smith. She's surely gone to find Rio Hardy. Yes, she has. Hardy gives her a hug, but will be absolutely gutted. Rio Hardy, who had 10 goals, and thought when she was substituted that she would win the Golden Boot, has seen her own teammate score 3 this afternoon to move on to 11 for the season. Frustrating for her, breeds good competition for next season, doesn't it? From a Sheffield United perspective, plenty to ponder, plenty to mull over in the coming months. It's going to take quite some time to wipe that smile off the face of Lexi Lloyd-Smith. A final day hat-trick to capture the BWSL 2 Golden Boot. And those hugs there are hugs that are built over 9-10 months of a campaign where Bristol City have just fallen short of their promotion aspirations. And Lexi Lloyd-Smith, from a personal perspective, is struggling to fight back the tears now. A Golden Boot is coming her way, as is the match ball, I would like to think, soon. What foundations for them to build upon for next season? They'll finish 4th and not a million miles away from a top 3 finish. It looks to be a 5-point gap for them to try to make up next season. You wouldn't know there was too much to smile about from Rio Hardy's perspective. Can't blame her. Hardy, who had the Golden Boot in her grasp, will go to bed tonight, I imagine, ruining that penalty miss in the first half. But you can see how much it does mean to her teammate Lloyd-Smith. 3 goals for her this afternoon. The other one from Rio Hardy, an excellent opener. We'll see Bristol City sign off with a smile and win at Sheffield United by 4-0. And from the Blades' perspective, much to build on, much to improve over the summer months. But it is Bristol City who finish with a flourish. A reminder, you can switch over to the Charlton-Birmingham City game, which is in its very dying embers now, for the trophy lift. Birmingham City will be crowned Barclays WSL 2 champions. But from here, at Bramall Lane, thank you very much for your company, not just today, but all season. The two sides will enter the summer break with a smile on the left of your screen and a grimace to the right. Plenty to work on for next season when we return in the Barclays WSL 2. At Bramall Lane, it has finished Sheffield United 0, Bristol City 4.